Hi everyone, welcome to this tutorial series on HTML. In this video, I will be taking you through HTML basic course and start your journey of becoming a web developer. So today we are going to learn about HTML layout elements and techniques. Websites often display content in multiple columns, like a magazine or a newspaper. So HTML layout elements have several semantic elements that define the different parts of a web page. We have a header, we have a nav or a navigation links, we have sections, we have articles, and we have footer. So a header, it defines a header of a document or a section. We have navigation. It defines a set of navigation links. Then a section defines a section in a document. And we also have footer, which defines a footer for a document or a section. The HTML layout techniques that are used to create multi-column layouts are like CSS framework, CSS float property, CSS flexbox, and CSS grid. We are going to start with CSS float layout. On this CSS float layout, we are going to write our title here. Let us name it as CSS template. Inside our body element, we are going to have our heading, and let's say CSS layout float. We can have a paragraph here, and also we can have another paragraph. Then we are going to have a header, open and close header. Then let us have our H2 tag, and we write cities. After our header, we are going to write a section. Inside our section, we are going to write our navigation tag, and inside our navigation tag we have our unordered lists. Then we have our list items, and we begin with our list item, but inside here we are going to write our cities. Since I'm in Kenya, I'll write the cities in our country. Then I'll copy and paste 4 times. I have another city in Mombasa, we have another one in Nakuru, we have Kisumu. Before we close our section, after navigation tag, we are going to write an article here. Inside our article, we are going to have heading 1, and let us say Nairobi. We need to have a paragraph. Let's just write Lorem Ipsum paragraph and another paragraph. And then we close our section. After our section, we are going to have our footer down here. We say footer, open and close. Inside our footer, let us have a paragraph. Here you can say designed by. You can write your name, Sarah Wanyeki, designed by your name. The next thing we are going to do is that we are going to style our page. So we will go to style.css. After our title here, we are going to link our style.css file with our page. So we are going to write our link.css, and we called our file style1.css. Then we go to style1, and we now need to style our page. The asterisk one, we say it is a select all. So we are going to say box sizing. We are going to put it in a border box. Then let's have our body. Let's style our body, and we give it a font. We use font family, not font size. Font family. Can use first one, that Arial. And then we are going now to style the header. We are going to style our header. We have styled our body. Now we are going to style this header here. So we are going to write header, open and close curly braces. We're going to say background color of our header. That's okay. Padding to 30 pixels. Text align. Let us align our text to the center. And font, let us increase the font size to 35 pixels. And we can change its color and change its color to white, like that. After we are done with the header, let us design our nav and an ordered list. We are going to say list style type. We are going to say none. Padding, we say equals to 0. Okay. The other thing we are going to style is our article. Come here and say article, open and close curly braces, telling it to float to the left. Say padding 20 pixels. I'm going to have width with 70 pixels. Background color, I'm going to have a background color F1 and a height of 300 pixels. Width is 70%, not 70 pixels. 70%. Let us design our footer. Let's say footer, open and close. The background color, give it white background color, grayish background color. Then we are having padding 10 pixels. Say text align it to the center and give it color white. The next thing we are going to add here is that we are going to clear floats after the columns. So we are going to say section and 2 double quotes and say after. We say content, it's going to be empty, and display in a table format, and clear, we clear both. Okay, want it to be responsive with 2 columns, so we are going to say at media with the maximum width full colon of 600 pixels. We want our nav, we want our article here, open and close curly braces, should be 100%. And our height should be auto. We didn't design our nav here. Our nav, we are going to style our nav. We say float to the left, then width, going to have 30%, and height of 300 pixels. Background, let's have our padding 20 pixels, yeah, like that. So now that is how our CSS float layout will look like. The next thing we are going to look at is HTML responsive web design. Responsive web design is about creating web pages that look good on all devices. A responsive web design will automatically adjust for different screen sizes and viewports. So, responsive web design is about using HTML and CSS to automatically resize, hide, shrink, or enlarge a website to make it look good on all devices, be it desktops, tablets, and phones. Okay, we are going to look at an example of a responsive web page. So we are going to design another web page, and let's have a new file and call it responsive.html. Click on enter, our boilerplate and tab. Our title, we'll call it responsive web page. we're going to create another style. We can call it responsive underscore style dot css. Hit on enter. Go to our responsive.html file. Under title, we are going to link our CSS file. We say responsive underscore style dot css. Inside our body element, we are going to start with a div. That's a container. We'll style our div here. Say div style equals to background color equals to f1. Say padding with 15 pixels, and control save. The next thing we are going to have is a header one. Heading one, we're going to write coastal villages. Let's have a header 3 here, heading 3, and say resize the browser window, and we close our div. Then we can have another div here. Style this div, say style equals to overflow auto. Can have this div, and this div will have a class, say menu. Then we're going to have another div. This div, we're going to have a class of menu item, and I'm going to duplicate these two 4 times. Another thing is history, the other one is gallery. We're also going to have another div here. We say div style this, we give it a class and we call it class main, and have a header 2, say the walk, and we're going to have a paragraph. We are going to use lorem ipsum. We're going to have an image, and its source will be inside images slash, we'll use this image equals to width. Going to have a width of 100%. I'm going to have another div. Inside this div, I'm going to have a class called right, and then heading 2 paragraph lorem. After that paragraph, we're going to have another heading here, heading 2. We say where, another paragraph, and say lorem. After that paragraph, we're going to have another heading 2. Let's have another paragraph and write lorem. And after the 2 divs, I'm going to have another div. And this div will say style equals to background color, and say text align center. Then we have padding 10 pixels. Here 10 pixels. We can have margin top 7 pixels, and font size 12 pixels. We'll begin by styling our border box, and then we'll come and style our menu, then style our menu item, and then we will style our main. And these ones, right? Okay, so let us go to our responsive.html .html and say control you say box sizing should be in a border box, and then say dot menu, want to float to the left, say width equals to 20%, then menu item, open and close, that's a class, menu item, then padding 8 pixels, doing this menu item, padding 8 pixels, and margin top should be 7 pixels. Then border bottom 1 pixels, solid F1. You can see there's a margin here. The next thing we are going to look to style is our, after menu item, we're going to style our main. So come here and say period main, open and close curly braces, float left, width 60%. We want padding to be 0 and 20 pixels, and then overflow hidden. After that, we are going to style our right class. Come here and say dot right or period right, and this right, you're going to give it a background, a different background color, say light blue. Tell it to float to the left. Let's have a width of 20%, and a padding of 10 pixels. Margin top 7. Now we are going to style the different sizes that we have for desktop, for tablet, and for mobile phones. We begin with media. We say media only screen, and maximum width 800 pixels. This one is a size for tablets. So we begin with our dot main. Say we give it a width of 80% and padding 0. Say dot right, say width of 100%. The other one we are going to have, I'll copy this and paste it here. This is 500 pixels for mobile. We're going to have dot menu, dot main, and we are going to have class, that class, going to give it a width of 100% of all those things. Let's give our body, going to say font, our font family, font size, font family. We are going to give it that font, and That's it. Control save. And now when it is on a desktop, it will appear like this. This is on our desktop. We want to see how it will appear on a tablet. When we resize it, it continues to resize even to a phone. See? Yeah. That's how we create a web page that is responsive. And now we have come to the end of today's lesson. Go ahead and practice what we have learned, and don't forget to subscribe, to like and share this video with your friends. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one.